everyone, and today I'll be sharing my dining experience at Paco Fiara.
prosciutto crudo with ham. Pork is black pork from Kagoshima.
ハムを提供するにあたってのこだわりはやっぱ切りたて、あとはそのお客様に合わせてカットしてる部分もあるんですよ僕。
ガーリック&ペッパー、ブラックペッパー。Next one is salame sorpresa. Sorpresa is garlic flavor and clove and cinnamon. Next dish is lamb, sheep lamb. やつですね。Next one is salami milanese. Milanese is small meat used 2 years aging. They してて、そこのお肉屋さんに僕を卸してるんですよ。なので、そこのお肉屋さんもちゃんとこだわってやってくれてるんで、ベルケルのスライサーがちゃんとあって、そこで消 ケースにあるやつ。これ何グラム？次が、白子ですね。サラメナポレターナ、ナポレターナ、いいですね。イタリー、ナポリ。Next, fish name is 銀行。銀行。そうじゃなさそうな気がするので。 肉ジェラート。
So what are my thoughts? I say Parco Fiera is worth making the trip out. And while Parco Fiera is an Italian restaurant, one shouldn't come expecting pizza. The menu centers around chef's handmade cured meats, and in addition to this, chef also serves traditional Italian dishes and creative dishes with Japanese ingredients. I especially enjoyed the pici pasta, the ham shirako, and the fried dough. My visit at Parco Fiera is a unique and delightful culinary journey, and for that, I highly recommend visiting Parco Fiera when in Hokkaido. And reservation can be made via Omakase website with a booking fee of 390 yen per head. However, you will require minimum 2 packs. So unfortunately for solo diners, reservation has to be made via table or with a booking fee of 8,000 yen per head.